What is up, RotoGrinders? 1 hour nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now for this kind of combination platter of, we're merging into crunch time. It's Grinders Live to start. We'll go position by position at the end. It's just a 5-gamer taking you all the way up the lock. 4 games early, 1 game late. Sacramento, Golden State. The back half of that TNT doubleheader. The front half, the Lakers, Milwaukee. It's the start of 4 and 5 for the Lakers. I think it's 6 and 8. Which is that's a lot of games, a lot of basketball. Of course, LeBron is out. Luka's questionable. My guess is if Luka sits, he sits tomorrow night in Denver. Again, this is the start of 4 and 5, but he's officially questionable. I assume he plays. We will know. Not sure about Sabonis. Sabonis, one of the big accused on the slate. And that's the only game late. First Q tag that he's had since a hamstring? I believe it was a hammy. My lean is he sits, but I don't know. And have a plan. Have a plan if you're happen to messing with somebody like Sabonis on the slate. Joined today by 2 of the absolute best in the business. We got Will, Chief Justice, Will Priester. We also have Noto. You know Noto from such things as Core Plays, and probably right now tilting some golf. I don't know. What's up, Noto? Do we have an eye on the golf? How is the golf working out for us right now?
Yeah, there's always an eye on the golf. Players Championship week, so Ultimate Tilt week, just water everywhere. Yeah, it's a fun course, but lineups are looking okay. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Friday's a real sweat unless one of your guys really blows up like Justin Thomas did today. But doing good, and excited to be on with Will. It's been a while.
When do we? Are you one of those like first hole bogey? We're tilting right out the gate. When are you allowed to tilt golf? What's the official rule?
We've been doing this long enough. We can't tilt till at least like the guys like 8 over par or something like that. There's always a chance. We've seen some great comebacks over the years. So yeah, you can't tilt after the first hole. I used to wake up like right at 6 Eastern time, watch every hole, but now I just wake up, go to the bottom of the leaderboard, and then slowly scroll up and hope I don't see anybody for a while.
Don't see any of the names that are in your lineups. Yeah, that's right. You might wake up and your lineups are already dead. Like you have no sweat. It's already over for you because you're on the not West Coast, but close enough west. Will, how are things in your world?
Rolling, man. Excited for baseball. I see my guy Buff was in there. Buff Daddy has been around a long time. For those of you that don't know, he's a RG legend in the YouTube chat. But baseball's coming up, and we're going to get a little bit of overlap of MLB and NBA. And I think I was talking to either Tim or TJ on the show about this. Like, hey, it's going to be bankroll management time extraordinaire, trying to hit on both of these sports. So get ready. It's about to be an interesting ride. And throwing a little golf during the week, a little NASCAR on the weekend, a little MMA on Saturday. Boy, what a fun time. Still got hockey going. Great time to be here, folks. Great time to be here.
We got about a month left of basketball, and the nonsense has already started. It didn't start last night, but I think it's heightened by what happened last night with Toronto. We kind of saw that coming with 2 teams that are clearly wanted to lose. Shed starting and playing 12 minutes. They benched Pirtle because they were winning by too much. Boucher, he didn't play a minute. I don't know if you guys saw the image of Chris Boucher last night on the bench. He was like, there's like 5 empty seats because, there was none of the Raptors were dressing. And then Boucher in the last seat sitting all by himself. Like, yeah, this guy's not playing basketball tonight. He was like quarantined on his bench, basically. That was the look of a dude. Like, coach told him, yeah, you're not playing, just so you know. I know he had the teeth issue. We haven't seen him in a while, but okay. Hey, it's just DFS. We care about today and today only. We don't care about yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a tilt fest, but we knew that. And this is what we're signing up for, boys, this time of year. As we close in the last month of the season, we're going to go game by game in a second. Also, yeah, you mentioned the chat. Hey, chat, hit that like button and subscribe and turn on those notifications, do all those things. Also, participate in Fleet Thursday. This is a Fleet Thursday. I'm not sure if you guys ever participated in Fleet Thursday because usually you guys are on crunch time, and that sort of nonsense is that's left for Grinders Live, not necessarily crunch time. But we do want to give away a week free of RG Premium. Just tell me what athlete I am talking about based upon the clues that are going to be dropped momentarily. One about every 5-10 minutes, give or take, depending on the first clues we're dropping right now. Do not give me your answer on the YouTube. That's not an official guess. Give it to me in the Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. 1 guess per clue drop. Tell me what athlete we're talking about. And you guys can play along too. Just don't verbalize it. Feel free to throw it in in our private chats. We'll have Will versus Noto as well. First clue dropping now is Ohio. OHIO. That is our first clue. Tell me what athlete we're talking about in the Discord. Noto, give me your approach as far as this 5-gamer tonight. Most of it's settled, right? We don't really know about. I think we're assuming Luka plays. I mean, national TV, Luka's playing tonight. Come on. And then later on, Sabonis is questionable. Otherwise, I think basically everything is settled. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I think pretty much everything. So I do think Luka's going to play. Sabonis is still questionable in that late game, but we can't expect him to play too. And you said before the show you told Steve who the fleet was, and he said he didn't know, he had never heard of him. So Ohio, I'm going to guess LeBron James.
Now you're not supposed to verbalize. It could have ruined the game if it was LeBron James, but it's not. It's actually not. Steve, I think, fairly certain. We can ask him. Steve probably has heard of LeBron James, that's also a clue for the people in chat. They're like, "Oh, wait a second, this must be a completely obscure person, right?" And they you can cross a lot of players out potentially, or maybe you don't know. Maybe Steve doesn't know a certain sport. I have no idea. Well, there you go. You guys are playing the home game. Will, feel free to guess as well in the private chat. Your thoughts here, Will? Any plan of attack? One game at 7:00, one game 7:30. Wait a second. Yeah. 2 games at 8. Again, it's like an early block of 4, late block of 1 with Sacramento and Golden State. And we're not sure about Sabonis. We're projecting him in currently. How are we attacking this slate, Will?
Well, my plan of attack is, who's still kind of in the thick of it, like who needs to win. And I mean, do the Lakers really want to play the Rockets, or do they want to play Golden State? Heck, do they want to play the Timberwolves, right? I know that sounds crazy, but, this could easily flip here by the time we get down to the end if the Lakers, go on a nice little push. So I think they're going to be serious about basketball tonight. You look at some of these other teams, how serious is Milwaukee going to be about basketball? Well, they're tied with Indiana for 4th. Would they rather play Indiana? Would they, do they want to try to push to catch the Knicks? They're a little bit further behind, but hey, are they still serious about basketball? I'm just saying that's kind of my approach tonight. So when I look at a team like Washington versus Detroit, Detroit still needs to win games. The Lakers definitely still need to win games. The Chicago in the 10 seed want to try to push to get to the 9 seed. Like those are the things I'm thinking about when I'm building for tonight's slate. And so I'm going to take some of those things to account, and then who's planning on packing it up like the Washington Wizards, and then maybe take some of those angles. I think those are all those two sides complement each other pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, most of these teams actually are fairly motivated. Chicago essentially is going to be just jockeying for the play-in nonsense. Unlikely they get caught by Toronto. Toronto's 4 games back and doing their best to lose games, trying their hardest. They won accidentally last night, but I don't think Toronto's going to catch them. Washington is they've lost a little bit of their lead in the Tankathon. They're only 1 game up right now on Utah. Speaking of teams doing their absolute best, finally the NBA fined the Jazz. Noto, your team has just been the most egregious offender. Are they going to be okay? Are they going to go out of business? They got fined $100,000. Are they going to be fine? Because I'm concerned they might have to sell the team.
I'm concerned too. It's been bad. Like usually you're excited for a few weeks in the season at least for any team, and it's just been a tankathon from the start. So it's been bad. Hopefully we catch the Wizards though. Might as well at this point.
Yeah. You got Will's Hornets. 2 of the 3 worst teams are represented here on the show. My Heat stink too. They're not very. I'd rather be in the tankathon than the 8 or 9 seed, which is just what's the point of that? Okay, let's dive in.
I mean, if things broke the Heat way though, and the Hawks lost a couple, the Heat could get into the 7th seed and play Boston.
And then what?
Yay!
And then losing 5. I'm probably being generous giving them a game. Yeah, give me the ping pong balls. Give me a chance as opposed to 0% chance of beating Boston. Okay, Washington and Detroit 234 is the total. It's the first game we're going to talk about. Detroit, big step forward for the Pistons. The Wizards, we talked about it, the worst team in basketball. They also lost Koulibaly for the season. He didn't officially say it, but he's done for the season. He's got a hamstring. He's out. Brogdon not playing basketball tonight. Nothing new for Detroit as far as the injury report. It's basically been the same for a while. I don't know when Jaden Ivey's coming back. If he is coming back, for some reason they don't roll him out for the season, but I don't think that they're very optimistic. This is the only game at 7 o'clock, Noto, and being on the show in time management and figuring out like lineups and all that, I'm thinking about possibly I'll only make a couple lineups. Not playing anybody here, or maybe just plugging in a Cade, or possibly just plugging in a Duran. How do you feel about Detroit, Washington? How much are we prioritizing this first game? It's not my favorite game on the board.
Yeah, it might be my least favorite game on the board, maybe the last one. So I'm with you. I'm not prioritizing it. I think if I build one lineup, which is my plan tonight, then I don't plan to have any exposure to it. I think Duran, at 6,900 on DraftKings, certainly viable. A guy that's facing one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, one of the worst everything in the league. They don't defend the paint. They don't rebound. They don't do much of anything. And they play at a fast pace. So it's a good spot for Detroit for sure. You can always get some exposure to Cade Cunningham. But if we get news that Luka's playing, I think I would prioritize him over Cunningham myself. And I just can't trust anyone on Washington.
No.
It's just hard. If you're only building a couple lineups, I don't think you need to mess with this game too much.
I'm pulling up the ownership stuff right now. Durham, we have at 19%. Cunningham, 16. This is DK specific. Schroeder at 12. Harris, 10. The most popular player for Washington is Champagnie. He's the guy that benefits the most if you're going to give a benefactor with the absence of Koulibaly. Also, just the absence of Koulibaly opens up a Washington Heat team more vulnerable, even worse defensively. He was their best defender. So, if you didn't think Cade was in a good spot before, it gets even better. Jump in here, Will. By the way, speaking of the Raptors, they just ruled out, which is hilarious. They just Pirtle just got ruled out for rest. Like they rested him the entire game. They have a sense of humor, at least. At least give him like an arm or something. But anyways, that's for tomorrow. Obviously, Toronto does not play tonight. Will, what do you got as far as Washington and Detroit?
I'm okay with Kaishan George. I mean, he's just playing pretty well in terms from a fantasy perspective. Get about 30 minutes a game. I'm okay with that. Like, he's somebody I think they will let play or, kind of extend a little bit here. Generally speaking, though, not really into this game. I know Sarr's been playing okay recently, but not really into this game. I do have I had a nice – Cade was one of my biggest investments for like season-long basketball, so I've been very pleased with that. And so I don't mind Cade in the spot against Washington. Like, I just think it's a spot where, he could go off for 60 fantasy points for 10K. But generally speaking, not really playing too much of this game, even though the total's, fairly high. One of the highest totals on the slate, I think, outside of Sacramento and Golden State. I feel like Tobias Harris is kind of priced where he should be, where he was in that mid to lower 5K range, put up 35 fantasy points tonight when nobody was playing him. Well, that's all caught up now. So just Cade for me, just Kaishan George on the other side, and I'm okay living with it if Jalen Duran goes for 60.
Let's see. They're asking about Holmes on FanDuel. I see in chats. Not really. He's not projecting well. 20 minutes, 21 fantasy points. I know center's not amazing today, but I would have to make a ton of lineups before I get there as far as Rashawn Holmes. And he's not somebody that's –
Well, and I was going to say that too. Like, I talked about Rashawn Holmes the last time. I'm still in on Rashawn. Like, if he's getting 20 to 25 minutes, I just think, once again, deep tournament play, a guy that nobody's going to play for 5K can get you, 30. Like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's not a priority as far as developing him. Like, when Washington is, like, theoretically good, I don't know when that's going to be. But I'll tell you this, Rashawn Holmes ain't on that team. He's not going to be there.
I mean, it's Chris Middleton even on that team if they're good.
Probably not. I don't know. Is anybody on the team right now on the team? It's maybe a better question.
Sarr's probably on the team. He's on a nice little rookie contract.
Yeah, but will Washington be good in the next 4 years? I guess that's the question.
You never know.
Maybe. Maybe we'll see.
Look at Detroit. Detroit's on the come up.
Yeah, most improved player. I think Cade is like a lock for that. I'm fairly certain he's like the odds-on favorite, right? Although I don't know how they quantify that because he was good. Whatever. It's really strange the way they determine who the most improved player is or is not. Okay, the Lakers take on the Bucks. 224 is the total. Lakers are 7-point dogs here. This is the national TV game, TNT game. Far as who's in, who's out. The Lakers obviously super thin. There's no LeBron. There's no Kleber. No Bronny. Jackson Hayes is out. Rui is out, so they're without a lot of height, obviously. A lot of their bigs. Rui will play some 5. LeBron can play some 5. Jackson Hayes can play some 5. Luka is questionable. We're assuming he's going to play. They do have Alex Len. I guess that's some height. I don't know if you're excited about playing Alex Len. Milwaukee, Giannis is officially probable. He's like always probable and basically always plays. I think we got the official confirmation that he is available. Yeah, Lillard has a groin, but he's going to play with that, so he's good to go. Bobby Portis, of course, still ruled out with his suspension. Will, this is a fun game. It's a fun game to, double stud, pay up. And we got some cheapies we'll talk about later. That's one of the paths I'm considering. And if I can't quite get to LeBron and Giannis, I'm fine, settling on the likes of Lillard.
You mean Luka and Giannis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, LeBron's a terrible option. That's a bad idea. I don't play low ball or something like that. But yeah, well, what do you got here, Will, as far as the Lakers and the Bucks?
Well, I think no matter what, and it's not just because of our lofty projection, but Austin Reeves should have his pick of the litter tonight in terms of production. So he's a guy at 7,500. Guess what, Dean? He's 41% owned. I'm considering the X button here on Austin Reeves. I don't think he's bad chalk. I just think, man, that's really like when you start getting expensive guys at that type of ownership, like I'm okay doing some fades and like some single entry type stuff. Dalton Connect, I do think is a guy that's good for tournaments tonight. And let me check and just kind of refresh and make sure we don't have a really good projection on him. But if they're gonna keep rolling him out there for 35, 40 minutes, he played 41 minutes against Brooklyn. I'm not saying the production was stellar, but he took 18 shots. Like that's fantastic. That's starter level shots. For 4,800, I'm in on Mr. Connect here. If he can connect, I'm sure a lot of people have used that reference, but just
Connect 4, right? Isn't this number 4? They call him Connect 4.
Yeah.
By the way, I think we don't project him for that many minutes because DFS did not play that game. Finney Smith is back and available for this game, so we're
but no LeBron. I still think Dean. I'm not saying he gets 40 minutes. I'm saying somewhere between 30, 35. I think is pretty much a slam dunk.
All right, well, take it up with the projection team. yell at Kyle. I don't know who's on it tonight, but we're giving Gabe Vincent 30, Connect 28. It's a medium projection, and a lot of it's based on
28, 30, 30. 30.
Good
I think it's 30 to 35. I'll take it.
No. Jump in here as far as your take on the Lakers and the Bucks. I think this is one of the better games. I assume you feel the same. Tell me otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. Luka plays. I think I'm going to end up just tagging him as a core play. Just anytime you get him without LeBron, sign me up for that. We've seen him have a bunch of big games recently. And as far as Giannis goes, I've kind of been on team fade Giannis most of the season. He's had a high floor, but the ceiling just hasn't been there. Look at his game log. He's been under 62 fantasy points in 11 of his last 12. And at his price, 11.7, you kind of need 60-plus fantasy points. So he's not killing you even when he's hitting like his good games. So I'm perfectly fine fading Giannis. I do like Luka. I think Reeves is very viable, especially more on FanDuel where you're not getting as much ownership as you are on DraftKings to Will's point. And then kind of my sleeper in this game is Brook Lopez. Never a guy that you feel great clicking on, but he's going to play 35-plus minutes if this game stays close. Got a lot of injuries in that front court for LA, and 5.6 or 5.4 on FanDuel is just not a bad price. 5.4 on DraftKings, 5.8 on FanDuel. He's just a guy that I like to get to in tournaments because he never really projects well, but he does have, that 6 or 7x type outside that we're looking for.
Just going to add that there's showing some volatility those minutes for the Lakers because it's pretty tricky to predict their starting lineup. We're currently going with Reeves, Luka, Connect, DFS, and Alex Len. I think there's a chance Vincent starts. I think there's a chance Vanderbilt starts. Just going to keep an eye on that. Does anybody feel confident in those starters for the Lakers? I don't have a lot of confidence in it, but and also like if you want to dart, Jordan Goodwin's not completely nuts. If you're playing like large field stuff, I think he's an interesting flyer. He's a guy that could score like 17 points. He's super cheap. How do we feel? Who's starting here for the Lakers? No, you feel good about Reeves, Luka, Connect, DFS, and Len? I mean, you got to put a name on it. It's tough. I don't really know who's starting for them outside of the obvious.
Yeah, I don't have a strong take either. We've seen Gabe Vincent get some starts here and there, coming off a nice game. So if they wanted to play a little smaller, they could do that. But yeah, I don't have a strong take on the lineup. Hopefully we'll get it soon.
Yeah, if we'll probably get it at 7, right when the Washington-Detroit game locks. Will you have a take on that or anything else as far as this game?
I think Reed starts. I think DFS starts. And if Luka plays, Luka starts. And then, I mean, heck, it could be up in the air from there. But what I do think is I do think Connect, DFS, Vanderbilt, Vincent all play more minutes than everybody else. If that makes any sense. Like, those are the guys today. Shake Milton, I don't think is going to be rolling out there for a bunch of minutes.
No.
So I think, no more than I think this is a 7 to 8 man rotation maximum. And that's what I think we see tonight. So I'm comfortable with any of those guys that we think could produce. I don't even know if Alex Len plays 20 minutes. He could absolutely play 9 minutes tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, he also can start and disappear, right? And it could be like a fake start situation. We're giving him 9 minutes and we're saying he's starting, which is, I don't know if that's two different people doing two different things or somebody's just sort of laying out that scenario of starting and then just appearing, just all of a sudden disappearing. But yeah, let's go ahead and drop that second clue for the people. I did take a peek here at the live stream chat channel. Jason Day was guest. Maurice Claret, of course, he went to Ohio. Drew Carey, he had a television show that was based in Ohio. I don't know how much athletic.
Maurice Claret was a good one. I like that one. That was a good one.
It's a deep cut here. Former running back for the Ohio State. And then somebody did guess LeBron James because they're like, yeah, Steve definitely doesn't know who LeBron James is. Second clue is scrolling right now. It is beautiful. So it's Ohio and beautiful. Get your guesses in the Discord. Get your reps in on YouTube, but YouTube, it does not count if you're just throwing out names in the old YouTube. Hit that like button too while you're at it. We'd appreciate it. This is the game where I think we're getting some value. Brooklyn at Chicago, 230 is the total. It's pretty high and it's tight. Chicago is a 2-point favorite here, despite the fact they're going to be without some of their dudes. Giddey, they said he's going to be out a while, and they also said he's doubtful. Again, I don't know if that's the same person saying those things. I don't know if he's officially ruled out, but we're assuming he's not playing basketball tonight. Same deal with Lonzo. Lonzo's doubtful as well. Dosunmu, of course, gone for the season, so that wipes out a lot of ball handling there for the Bulls. As far as the Nets, Tosun is still in the G League hanging out. Clowney is out with an ankle. That's the most important stuff there as far as Brooklyn. They're pretty healthy these days. Noto, I know I was taking a peek at the survey. You were on the Bulls today, so I'll throw it to you. Talk about how much Bulls is too much Bulls. Trey Jones should get a bump. Herter should get a bump. Maybe THT gets some run. I don't know if you want that. Buzelis has rolled a more solidified. And if you have the salary, Kobe White should have a bunch of shots as well.
Yeah, no THT for me. It's funny. He was like one of the least favorite Jazz players ever. I don't know why, but people just did not like when he was on the Jazz. But yeah, I love the Bulls tonight. Giddey and Lonzo are officially out, like we expected, and then Dosunmu is out as well. So we got a ton of minutes opening up in that backcourt. I have Kobe White tagged. He's had average 45 fantasy points over his last 4 games. Trey Jones has averaged a fantasy point per minute ever since joining the Bulls, and he's got a 32-minute projection, so I like him quite a bit. Then Kevin Herter, 4,300 on DraftKings. He's going to play 30 minutes. It's a good matchup. We know Brooklyn plays at a slow pace, but Chicago's at home, so they might be able to dictate the pace a little bit more than they would if it was in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn's like bottom 7 in 3-point percentage allowed and defensive rating as well. So I think it's a really good spot for all the guards here. I'm building one lineup on DraftKings. I think all 3 are going to make it. And then on Brooklyn's side, really like Cam Thomas. His usage rate's just been crazy. Over the last 5 games since coming back from injury, usage rate's been 39, 36, 36, 30, and 32. And he's not afraid to take some shots. He's going to get some more possessions in this one, being a pace-up game versus Chicago. So, yeah, this is my favorite game on the board. I think I'll have at least 3 Bulls and then at least 1 or 2 nets. Certainly no issue with Claxton.
I like him. Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and then it looks like Vucevic is going to be on a minute restriction too, which kind of helps the other guys on the Bulls.
They boosted it though, 28 to 30, and that's a little bit. But last game I think it was like 24, so he didn't start. So they're giving him an extension of like 6 minutes or so. It's almost full, but not to the point where you can roster him, I don't think. Probably crossing him off the board. By the way, in chat, Mitchell's saying THT is the oldest 24-year-old alive. I would have guessed he's older than 24.
He's 24?
He's just 24 years old. I Googled it too. I'm like, that can't be right. He's got to be like 27.
THT is the new Derek Favors.
How many teams does he play for?
Well, remember the Lakers wouldn't trade him. He was like an untouchable back in the day. Like, yeah, we can't. Supposedly every trade was like, oh, well, we got to throw in THT. Well, then forget it. Deal's off. That went to. Yeah, I don't know who was for. Yeah, every rumor as far as the Lakers, like, oh, you got to get THT. That is pretty wild. Okay, Will, Brooklyn, Chicago, there's not amazing raw points plays here necessarily, but this is the game you go to. I think that's best for making other stuff work. As Noto laid out, how do you feel about Brooklyn and the Bulls?
Yeah, if D'Angelo Russell plays at 5,100, I think I'm okay with it. Cam Thomas is, he's back, and minutes look like they're increasing. Cam Johnson is a guy that has played really well, and this matchup with the Bulls should push this team a little bit, as Noto mentioned. Not just because they're at home, hopefully they can dictate the pace, but they're just a faster paced team than the Nets anyway. So I just feel like everybody in this game is reasonably priced, and I think that's what makes this game easy to build around. Like, you can play Luka and play Bulls. You can play Luka and still get to a Nick Claxton and a D'Angelo Russell. For those of you that want to play Giannis, you can get to Giannis and build around in this game. You can, you can get to Zion Williamson if you want to. Like, this game just helps you to do some other things, and it should be relatively. I still think this game, at least according to the spread, it should be relatively competitive. So, a lot to look forward to, and. He mentioned Kobe White and his explosion, and Trey Jones is the guy that I've been on. Herder's coming into the mix. You could get a fair amount of these guys and really build around them comfortably. And I think that's the allure of this game, and a reason we need to be included, especially if you're doing mass multi-entry. I think some 2-1s, some 3-1s, some 2-2s, all of those I think are viable.
Speaking of Herder, Red Velvet, his former team, just got the news that Sabonis is out. That's really surprising. I thought they were going to milk that. I didn't think he was going to play, but I thought they were going to wait until after the first 4 games. So that does shake things up a little bit. It boosts everybody else on Sacramento. And how much is Valanciunas? He's fully priced, right? He's like $7K.
Yeah. Everyone's expensive, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know how much that changes things, but obviously you're not playing Sabonis if you wanted Sabonis. There's going to be ownership here in this game, by the way. Brooklyn and Chicago. Herder, 46% currently. Cam Thomas, 44%. Kobe White, 26%. Claxton, 25%. Trey Jones, 20%. Even Russell coming in at 20%. Buzeos at 12%. So one of the more popular games on the board is Brooklyn, Chicago. Taking a peek, by the way, some fun guesses here in the live stream chat channel as far as today's Fleet Thursday. Of course, the first 2 clues we have, they're scrolling. It's Ohio and beautiful. Somebody guessed Kathy Ireland, who, if you're old enough, you remember Necessary Roughness. She was the kicker in that movie. That's a nice reference. It's not Kathy Ireland. Travis Kelce, Pete Rose, Angel Reese, Katie Smith. I'm not sure who that is. Let's see. It's not Ellie De La Cruz. Yeah. But we haven't quite got there just yet. Let's go ahead and drop that third clue for the people. Maybe this opens things up. The third clue is cool. So Ohio, beautiful, and cool. 2 more games to go. Then we'll run it back, go game by game. No, we're doing game by game now. We'll run it back, and we'll do the position by position. Not a full deep dive. Then at the end, we'll have time for questions as well. Get as many as possible before we hit the bell at 7 o'clock. That is locked tonight. Let's do it. Next game is the Magic and the Pels. 215.5 is a total. It's not high, but it is tight. Magic are just a 2-point favorite here. As far as who's in and who's out, Magic, they're without Suggs. They certainly can use him because their offense is sputtering. think they're third worst on the season as far as offensive rating. It's not spectacular. New Orleans, of course, without DeJounte Murray for the rest of the season. Kelly Olynyk is out for personal reasons. Yves Zabisi is not playing basketball tonight. We're currently projecting Makovich to draw the start for New Orleans. Not a certainty, but that seems like a good projection. McCollum, Bruce Brown started last game. Murphy, Zion, Makovich. Of course, Herb Jones still out for the Pels. Will, the Magic and the Pelicans, are we excited?
I think in real life, maybe. In DFS, I still think there's some pieces here. I'm okay with Wendell Carter Jr. at 4,800. I think he's reasonable. We haven't really seen the upside from Franz here recently at all. And, maybe part of that is, this team being, dare we say, relatively healthy compared to maybe some other teams in the league. But I think it's kind of on the Orlando side. It's kind of just Wendell Carter. If you want to get to Cole Anthony seems to be picking up a heavier dose of ownership from us tonight, which means he's another guy I want to hit the X button on this slate. He could absolutely. I mean, he's 4,900 on DraftKings, which is a totally different price than, say, Austin Reeves. But I trust Austin Reeves a little bit more than I trust Cole Anthony, so I think I'm out there. On the other side, Zion Williamson just continues to play pretty well down the stretch here. So he's a guy against Orlando in what should be a tight matchup I'm good with. Carlo, if you want to squeeze him in, he's done pretty well. I think there's still some meat on the bone at his price. But that's mostly it. I'm not playing too many people from this game.
Did want to mention as far as Zion, you mentioned Zion, you brought him up. I think he's a really interesting tournament play. New Orleans is they're in the 4 spot as far as the tankathon. Probably not going to get caught by Philadelphia or Brooklyn or Toronto, but there's a chance, I guess, they can jump in. But it's really, really hard to jump in with how amazing, how good Washington, Utah, and Charlotte have been all season long at losing. But 32 minutes. He's played 32 minutes in 2 of his last 3 games. The other game was a blowout. He had that, halt at 28 for a while. And on the season, 1.59 FanDuel fantasy points per minute, 1.62 DK fantasy points per minute when you take off Murray and you take off Ingram, who barely played. So he's been spectacular, obviously. And if he gets 32, and you can't really project 32, but again, that's what we've seen the last 2 close games. And I think at some point they pump the brakes here because, again, New Orleans not incentivized to win. They've won 5 of their last 10. I'm curious your thoughts, Noto. And he's just been awesome. Like last game, he had that, I think it was triple-double last game, one of the biggest scores on the slate, just doing everything. And also, I was watching the game, he's excited. They're having fun, which is it's nice to see Zion having a good time. I still don't know where the ceiling is on that guy. Can he is there another step? Is he just in the wrong organization? Is he not properly motivated? I think he can still take a leap. Your take as far as New Orleans and the Magic. No.
Yeah, glad you guys brought up Zion. Not a guy I'm good to in single entry stuff, small field stuff, but 5% ownership for large field tournaments, certainly interesting. You guys mentioned his form. Yeah, he's just been consistently over 50 fantasy points. Nobody's going to play him tonight, so I like that call. It is hard to trust the Magic right now, but I do want to play somebody here. I mean, New Orleans has been so bad. 4th worst rebounding team. They give up the 2nd most 3-point attempts, and then they're bottom 5 in every other defensive metric. So I'd like to get some exposure to Orlando. I think Wendell Carter is probably the easiest way to do it. 5,400 on FanDuel is a good price point. 4,800 on DraftKings, even better price point. He's probably my favorite. Cole Anthony projects well, but like Will said, he's one of those guys that can have a lot of dud games. He's been under 40 or under 20 fantasy points in 4 of his last 7. So if he ends up having a bad game, that could be a really good fade for tournaments. No issue with Banchero. The only other guy that we haven't talked about, Mo Bamba, we haven't projected for 18 minutes. We saw him go off for 33 fantasy points the other night in a good matchup. This one's not as good of a matchup, but I mean, 3K, if you are building that Stars and Scrubs lineup on DraftKings, I think he at least deserves some consideration.
What team did he used to play for, Mo Bamba?
Is this a revenge game, right? Let's go.
Is it once or wasn't he on what other team was he on? Was he on? He was on a different team.
He's been on the Lakers. I think he's been to Philly.
That's what I thought. We talked about this yesterday, by the way. We were talking about De'Aaron Fox, and I was like, yeah, I think he's playing injured, and he was amazing. He absolutely crushed, and now he has a great game.
Yeah,
and season injury.
Injury.
Yeah, and you know what? He probably needs to taken care of. But San Antonio, they can lose a couple games. You know, they'd be fine losing a couple games here and there down the stretch already with their season over without Wemby. We got the official lineups for Detroit. Nothing goofy here. Cunningham, THJ, Hardaway Jr., Ausar Thompson, Harris, and Duran. Magic gave us Anthony, KCP, Franz Wagner of the brothers Wagner, Banchero, and Carter Jr. Some guesses here in the Discord. Joe Burrow, Jim Brown, Simone Biles. They're just guessing players from Major League, Jake Taylor and Willie Mays Hayes, which is kind of funny. It's not those guys, but fun guesses. Or CJ Stroud or Michael Phelps. Maybe a fourth clue will help the people because we got to get this knocked out. Fourth clue is Famous X. Ohio, beautiful, cool, Famous X is the fourth clue. And let's knock out.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what this is. I don't have a clue.
It's not Jason Day with the cool clothes and the wife that got hit by LeBron when she was sitting courtside.
Is she a famous person, or is she just famous for getting hit by LeBron?
Famous for getting hit by LeBron.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know much about. I think somebody had to guess Jason Day. Is he known for being a good dresser?
Dean, you've really listen, whoever earns this one today, they need a month of Archie Premium. I'm sitting here like, what?
It'll all make sense. I promise. It's all gonna make sense for you. When you step back and see the
only thing I'm thinking about right now is it Tom Brady? What?
Well, no, because we got the big clue that Noto revealed, a little backstage banter, that Steve's never heard of this person. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to speak for producer Steve. Pretty sure he's heard of Tom Brady. So it's probably not Tom Brady. Well, it might be Tom Brady. You can guess it if you want.
No, you're right. It's not Tom Brady. I forgot about our internal clue, which was Steve didn't know who this was. So clearly he knows who Tom Brady is.
Yeah.
Has not heard of the athlete, which means they must play like ultimate frisbee or something. I don't know.
I would do that with Stevie was in the show. I think Stevie's big into the ultimate frisbee world. But yeah. All right. Scott.
He says I should know this one. Okay. All right.
I don't know what Jake Paul's X is.
I got you. I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm a Braves fan. I'm a Hornets fan. I'm a Panthers fan. Maybe it's someone regional. If he's saying I should know, or they probably played. I don't know. We'll see. Chris Pago says, "Chief, you're now on the clock." That's the draft stuff. Anyway, all right. Back to our regular scheduled program.
Kings and Warriors, 234 is the total. This is the back half. Say it again.
Somebody put OH in the chat.
Oh, you just got to immediately respond. Yeah. That's the rules. OHIO. 234 is the total. Golden State is a favorite here by 7 points against the Kings. We just got the ruling that's a bonus. Is not playing basketball tonight. I presume that means that we'll have Valanciunas continue starting going forward. I think Kuminga is off the injury report. He's probable. And he's probable with his ankle. Pods is out. He's got a back. And then Gary Payton, the mitten, he's got a nose. I think he's wearing a mask these days, so he is available. He's going to play despite having that nose. We have what's going on?
Guys, the mitten, that's sneaky good commentary, Dean.
That's not mine. I don't want to claim that one.
I know, but it's like I understand that, but you just kind of say it and gloss over like it's part of just everyday lingo. Like Gary Payton, the mitten, he's got a great, Dean. Hosting extraordinaire. Good stuff.
Will, talk to me about the Kings and the Warriors. This is the game. I wrote this in the survey today. This is the game that I'm most afraid of not having players on. I don't think I have a lot from this game. Tell me otherwise. Am I wrong? Am I doing it wrong?
I don't think you're doing it wrong because Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, I mean, those guys are expensive, which I know Domantas Sabonis isn't going to play, but guess what? There's no free pass for Jonas Valanciunas. So really tough to get to some of these Kings today when they're all priced up. When you look at the other side, I mean, I don't mind Steph and Clay, man. Boy, have they put on a clinic from time to time against the Kings. Have they not? Both of these guys in their own rights have just kind of put on a clinic. I'm sneakily into Curry tonight. Maybe that's a little bit too much of a narrative street, but man, Curry, the Kings. I mean, they've talked about this scissors action that Curry and these guys run on the Kings. They just keep bombs away from 3-point land. That's the technical side of it. If you want to get all technical for Dean, so I'm sneakily into Curry tonight for what it's worth. But outside of that, not too many people.
Curry currently coming in at 6%. Most popular player for Golden State on DK is the Butler at 15, Green at 12. We're not giving a ton of minutes to Kuminga. Of course, we have not seen him in a while. We just removed Trey Jamison from projections. I think he only has a certain number of games left. Maybe he's not playing basketball. Maybe he's not dressing. It's possible that's probably what's going on there. Koloko got a projection. Do not play Koloko. Just that's what's happening here on the back end. I assume Jamison is not playing. I saw somebody ask about him before. That is my understanding. At least that's what I'm guessing from our projection. By the way, we got a winner in the Discord channel. We'll go ahead and drop that fifth clue just for fun. The fifth clue, we'll drop it. Again, just play this one out. We won't reveal the answer just yet. But the fifth clue is Goliath. Goliath is the fifth clue. Noto, your thoughts here as far as the hammer game that is Sacramento Golden State?
Yeah, I was laughing. Somebody guessed Delonte West in the chat. Famous X was pretty good.
That's a good guess. Allegedly.
Allegedly. But yeah, this game's good. Like you said, Dean, I don't think I'm going to have any of these guys in my main lineup, but it's an interesting game. J Val on FanDuel is probably my favorite play over there. He's 7,200, a guy that can put up a lot of points in decent amount of minutes. As far as revenge narratives go, this is like the matchup when Draymond was stepping all over the Kings in the playoffs. Is Draymond more motivated? Are the Kings more motivated? How does that work?
What was he motivated to kick somebody? Because I don't know if I want to roster him, but that's what he's motivated to do.
He got suspended. I don't know. Yeah. There's no love lost between these two teams for sure. Step in tournaments. Butler's been playing a little bit better recently. I just don't know if I'm going to play any of them in single entry stuff.
Did you see last night with Steven Adams and the Plum Dog? Did you happen to catch that? Steven Adams basically got Plumlee ejected, and then he bowed afterwards. Just kind of wrapped him up. By the way, the all dark alley team, Steven Adams, is he the 1-1? He's a first rounder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Him and James Johnson. I don't know if James Johnson is there. Those are my
Listen, guys, the chat, man, and they're not distracting me, but some of these comments today, Dean, unbelievable. Hammer says, Dean been doing this for 6 months. I'm over 100. That's incredible.
Well, he's due. I think he's due. That's how that works. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Shout out to T. Carter, who got our answer correct. We'll reveal that momentarily on today's Fleet Thursday. By the way, I'll give you a bonus clue for those that haven't got it just yet. Bonus clue, Moneyball. Moneyball is a bonus clue. There you go. Maybe that helps some people. But let's run it back really quickly. I want to just knock out your favorite player and maybe your favorite ambitious tournament player. We can't fully do a deep dive. We got 13 minutes. I want to answer your questions in YouTube. I want to answer your questions in the Discord. Let me know as far as site. Let me know if you're playing tournaments, if you're playing single entry, you're playing large field. The more details, the easier it is, the better it is to answer the question. So today's Fleet Thursday, Ohio, beautiful, cool, famous X Goliath. The reason why producer Steve said Will should know this one. You did say your favorite team, Will, one of your favorite teams. Your name is also moniker Chief Justice. Chief Justice.
Oh,
Ice.
All right. I got it now.
This person, I thought somebody might bink it right away, just in case they're playing the game, some game theory. They were born in Ohio, went to school in Ohio. They were one of people's most beautiful people. Remember, People does the 50 most beautiful people in 1994. He wasn't that pretty in 1993 or 1995. He kind of fell off a little bit, but in 1994, he was most beautiful. The third clue is cool like ice. The fourth clue is famous X. And I saw somebody actually put the name in chat in YouTube. One of his exes is Halle Berry. He was married to Halle Berry. And then Goliath, David versus Goliath. Former Atlanta Brave,
David Justice.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, listen, once you started stringing the clues together, I was like, oh, yeah. It kind of clicked from what you said. Yeah, it's one of your teams. Steve said you should know this, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Now I got it. I wasn't processing well today. Sorry, Chad. I could have hooked you guys up probably a clue. I would say clue at least 3. Clue 3.
I don't know the context, but Flying Armbar just said Halle Berry. I don't know what the reason was. It was just thrown out there. It's like, okay. I don't know why that was said, but fair enough. Okay. Will, give me your favorite point guard and maybe like an ambitious point guard.
Favorite point guard, honestly, today for me, both nights, it's Steph Curry, man. I like Curry today. Ambitious point guard. Let's call it Damian Lillard.
All right. How about yourself, Noto? Your favorite point guard and favorite large field point guard?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kobe White is my favorite, although he's not a point guard on DraftKings. And then large field. Yeah, my favorite tournament play in the slate was in the survey was Curry, so I'm with Will on that one.
Give me your favorite shooting guard, Noto.
Let's go with Cam Thomas.
You have anybody, for large field stuff if you're feeling goofy?
Yeah, I didn't. You brought up Jordan Goodwin earlier. I think he could be interesting for the Lakers.
Will, give me your favorite shooting guard and favorite small forward.
Shooting guard, give me. Honestly, give me Kevin Huerter on the cheap end. Small forward, give me Zion, especially if you're playing DraftKings.
Is he a small forward on Zion on DraftKings?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. There you go. Is he a small forward? Is that just wrong? Am I missing something? Oh, I'm just asking. I don't really think of him as that, but fair enough. Positionless basketball. Noto, small forward, and then jump to power forward.
Yeah, small forward. Kobe White. I don't know why he's a small forward. Him and Zion at the same position seems kind of off. But yeah, I already mentioned him as my favorite point guard.
The chat is on fire today, man. CW89 comes in with large forward. Guys, bravo.
Yeah, I like Herder too, and Cam Thomas. I don't really love anybody as small forward for large field stuff.
Power forward.
Power forward. Let's go. Yeah, kind of a gross position. I'll go Makovich for large field, and yeah, I don't know. One of my guys are. I'll go Buzelis for small field. I don't know. They're both kind of the same type of plays.
Can you power rank the Bulls for me? No, it sounds like you're playing 3. I don't think Buzelis is one of those 3 you're talking about, but you still can play him. What are your power rankings as far as Bulls?
Yeah, my latest lineup has 4 of them. So I'm going to go Trey Jones, Herder, Kobe White, and then Buzelis.
Will, give me your favorite power forward. Oh man, I think I'm going Buzelis also. The Bulls, man. Give me Cam Johnson on the other side though, sneakily. Give me Cam Johnson on the other side.
All right, let's knock out some centers. If you have some questions, roll them in the YouTube or let me know in the Discord. I know Discord, there's a lot of just random names being thrown out there, but now I would imagine we can just knock out some questions. If you want to jump to the front of the line, throw your question in the Discord. Will, favorite center, large field, and just favorite center overall.
I think Brook Lopez for me is large field. Favorite center overall, I think just for the values, probably Carlo from New Orleans.
And Noto, favorite center?
Paper center, Wendell Carter Jr. on a per dollar basis, and then two of us on Brooke Lopez in tournaments. Sure, that'll end well.
Yeah, I see in the chat, Jim Parrish says thoughts on Lopez for DK tournaments helps you spend up on Luka, ABC, or Curry. You're asking favorite spend up. I'll ask that to Noto. Who's your favorite spend up amongst Luka, Giannis, and Curry?
Luka for sure, and it does look like he's playing.
Yeah, Luka officially in. Again, keep an eye on that going forward. It's a start of 4 and 5 because of the fires out there in LA. They had to make up some games, and 6 and 8, I believe. So, they're probably going again. And also the back half of a back-to-back in Denver tomorrow night. Historically, the toughest place to play. Anthony is out. Is that Cole Anthony? Oh,
yep, he's out.
Because I thought he was in the starting lineup. All right, so Cole Anthony's out. Does that
late
change?
stretch?
I mean, Black. Does anybody really get Trevon Queen? Like, does anybody get excited about any? I don't know, man. What's our first thought here? Because I guess Black is interesting at 3.6 if he starts, but I mean Gary Harris if he plays. I'm not playing Gary Harris. Oh, they're doing the thing where they start. Who's starting here? Joseph? Is that who's starting?
Corey Joseph.
Okay, he's not even on the lineups page, but I do know he started for them not too long ago. We're not playing him, right? He's probably 3K, and I still don't think I care. Anybody?
Let me say this for what it's worth. I'm not playing Curry on FanDuel. I meant to mention that. Like, I'm just going to play Luka because I can.
Does anybody have any interest in playing Corey Joseph? He's 3-1 on DK, and he's starting, but probably not closing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't feel great about it.
My first thought is no. I mean, how bad could he be at 3K and starting? But, I don't know. Maybe he gets 20 points or so. Anybody else get the boost? Maybe a little bit more for Wagner and Banchero. Maybe those guys get boosts a little bit, incrementally at least. But
I ran the on-off. Looks like Wagner gets the 3% usage boost. Banchero 2%. Yeah, Corey Joseph plus 9.6 fantasy points per 36.
Well, how many minutes is that?
22.
Okay, I figured
so per 22 minutes.
Yeah, I see TJ hanging out in chats. Will, help TJ out. I guess this is a utility spot. Bamba or Joseph? Ugh, gross.
Oh my god! I'm always going to side with the center over a guard when they're going to get comparable minutes. That's just my rule of thumb. Centers have more ways to get there. Bamba can score 8 points, get 10 rebounds and 2 blocks, and all of a sudden that's a reasonable night for him at 3K.
Taking a peek at the Discord real quick, Peterman's asking Russell or Anthony. Well, it's not Anthony now. I guess it's Russell. M. Rios is asking Reeves. Thoughts on Reeves, Dodo? How do we feel about Austin Reeves tonight?
Yeah, like him. He's not in my lineup, but I'm going Kobe White instead. But yeah, I like Reeves for sure.
Yeah.
Will the Mad Bomber wants to know about Connect 4 DK tournaments? Yeah. Are you in?
I'm in. I'm playing them.
We have not got a Lakers starting lineup just yet, right? I don't think so. Probably getting it. Yeah, probably getting it to 7:00. I imagine that's typically when they come out. Any more questions here in the Discord? I do want to jump back over to. Okay, yeah. So, we have the question about Reeves already being talked about. Achilles Noto's got a 2v2, White and Chimpenny, FanDuel Cash, White and Chimpenny versus Vanderbilt and Reeves. 2 Lakers versus one of those Bulls and Chimpenny.
Yeah, I think the cheap guys are pretty much a wash, and I just said I like White more than Reeves, so give me the first one.
I do have White Champagne for what it's worth. Hopefully we don't have the same lineup. Jesus.
LMI is asking, can you play Bamba and Makovich on DK tournaments? I feel like that's probably a bad idea. I don't think you play those guys together. Anybody have a take on that? I would not play them in the same lineup.
Yeah, you can play them. Just I would do them individually.
Yeah, I feel like they're basically eating each other's minutes, and the matchup's not great. But you're using them as salary savers, obviously. James Brown has got a question for you, Will. Luka and Cade in the point guard spot, then fill it out. I mean, good players.
I think you can do that. I personally didn't do that because I do think you want to get a Zion or Kobe White or one of the other guys in the mid-range like Austin Reeves. So I personally do that. I think you're getting enough value with Trey Jones, but if you do, like, there's enough value for you to get it done. Just know you're missing out on some of the value at point guard, I think, with Trey Jones.
Eric wants to know thoughts on Draymond, assuming he doesn't kick anybody in the nads.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Maybe a little bit more foul trouble concern with J-Val going up against J-Val. I don't know, but 6,400 is pretty good. He's been decent recently, so I don't mind him.
Let's see. Question in the chat: Black or Joseph FanDuel cash? For the record, we have a 20-minute projection for Joseph, which gives him 11 median FanDuel points. Black gets 22 minutes, but he's a much better fantasy point better player, so he projects for more. I'm pretty sure I would play Black over Joseph if I had that decision. Salary is not a thing. Will, you have a take on that? Joseph versus Black in cash?
I think I'd play Black.
Bamba versus Jameson. I think Jameson's not playing because we just ruled him out, and he's a two-way guy, and I think he can only play so many games. So I'm fairly certain there had to be a reason why they kicked him out. Well, yeah, I thought they kicked him. Don't hold me to it, but I did see his name disappear in projections. I can't do this on the fly, but I think he's actually not playing tonight. But need confirmation of that. Who's breaking the slate, Will? Slate breaker?
Man, I hate to go obvious, so I'm not. Give me Zion.
I love Zion as like a off the board spend. See Zion and raise him. What do you got, Noto?
Is Kobe White too chalky?
What is he at as far as ownership? I don't think he's the most chalkiest player on his team.
Nah, yeah. He's like mid-20s, Noto. That's low on this slate considering all the value.
You got Kobe?
Yeah, I'll get Kobe.
All right. That's it. 7 o'clock on the dot. Do appreciate y'all hanging out. Hit that like button before you step aside and get out of here. We will be back tomorrow at normal time. I haven't looked, but I would imagine. Since there's only 5 games tonight, I would assume that tomorrow will be packed. Let's get one more for the road, Noto. One more for the road. Michael wants to know, we might have just got the Laker lineup. Did we get that? Vincent or Goodwin? Oh, and Vincent's a better play than Goodwin if nothing else matters. I wouldn't think. Vincent's got to project better than Goodwin, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
If salary is not a thing, I think it's pretty clearly Vincent, but maybe I'm wrong.
We have Goodwin projected for half a point more.
Wow, that's surprising. But we also might get – I don't think there's a chance Goodwin starts. I think there's a chance Vincent starts, and that would change.
Yeah.
But, stay tuned. We should be getting that lineup momentarily. We'll get it off air. That's it. Do appreciate y'all watching. Again, hit that like button. Come back tomorrow, 5 o'clock, East Coast, taking y'all your block. 2 hours tomorrow night. We're out of here.